What's up guys, Xbox Tech Junkie back today with another video. Today's video is going to be a little short only because we're talking about the brand new cover revealed for the next Halo book. The reason we're doing this is because Halo Silentium is taking just a bit longer than I had originally hoped it would. There's just so much lore in this book that I really want to make sure that I'm trying to get as much details as possible. It's quite possible that this next video will be a two-parter. I haven't figured that out yet, but needless to say, it will be out as soon as possible, but I'm actually excited to talk about another Halo book, so let's just jump right into it. So, a couple of months ago, I think around January, Halo Studios revealed the title for the next Halo book, which was Halo Edge of Dawn, a Master Chief story. Now, what was interesting about this was typically when it has the subtitle A Master Chief Story, it's written by Troy Denning, who did Halo Silent Storm, Oblivion, and Shadows of Reach, all three of those being a Master Chief story. Another little interesting that I'll point out about those books is two of those three were hardcovers, and the last one being Shadows of Reach was not hardcover. It's not a big deal, but I kind of like continuity in that type of aspect. I was a little annoyed that Shadows of Reach only went to paperback, but that's totally off topic. Let's talk about this brand new cover. Now, as I said, it's a little interesting that Troy Denning didn't do this book because it is another Master Chief story. I don't know if there was a reason they switched to Kelly Gay, or if maybe Troy's just busy with other stuff. Irregardless, I'm not disappointed at all. I love both Troy Denning and Kelly Gay, who's writing this book. Kelly Gay has really picked up the mantle. Mantle. Get it? But in all seriousness, she really has been able to basically resurrect that feeling that Greg Bear gives to the Forerunner saga. She did so well in her trilogy, and then she brought such great life to Rubicon Protocol that I'm really excited to talk about those books. Quite frankly, Rubicon Protocol is that book that really just makes me want to replay Infinite over and over and over again, even though I have played Halo Infinite at least 5 or 6 times through. But let's talk about this book. I keep straying, but it's because there's just so much to talk about. So, Halo Edge of Dawn, a Master Chief story. Today we officially got the cover reveal, which I'm going to show right here. This right here is actually what the cover of the actual book will look like. Here in a moment, I'm going to actually read the synopsis of the actual book and then give off the full cover art of the book, both front and back. But yes, this is the cover. This is the cover that we will be seeing when we pick up our copies in stores, or when we download the audio version, however you decide to read your books. Now, one thing that I was a little curious about was they revealed this title back in January. And then just a couple of weeks ago, they revealed the synopsis, and they didn't reveal the cover, which I found a little interesting. I thought maybe there was something about the cover that was going to be maybe kind of jaw-dropping, I guess, so to speak, or maybe just surprising when it came to it. But it actually is a very tamed cover from what I was originally expecting. It's a cover that I actually really love, and quite frankly, it might be my favorite cover in the entire franchise, or book series at least. But, I'm very biased because it's brand new and I love anything Halo, so I might just be a lot of my biases take over. I might end up talking about more about the covers in the future, but this cover is fantastic. It's Master Chief in his Mark 6 Gen 3 armor from Infinite. It has the weapon right in front of him, whose name I'm assuming we're going to get revealed in this book at some point. Hopefully there's no spoilers. I definitely won't spoil it when I do a review for it when it comes out. But then on the back of the cover, which when I talk about the synopsis, you'll see the full picture, is our elusive elite, Jaga Erdonmai, who was part of Atriox's hand, or Escharam's hand, probably both, honestly. I honestly can't remember. I'll put the actual title of what he is here. A silent shadow, and just a really cool, formidable enemy. I know there's probably a lot of people who are going to be like, I don't get it. I killed him in Infinite. How is he alive? They're pulling a Star Wars. Somehow Jaga Erdonmai returned, blah, blah, blah. The thing with Jaga is, typically when you kill a boss in Infinite, their body remains there. The moment you kill Jaga, he kind of goes invisible as he falls to the ground and disappears. There's no outline, there's nothing. It's just gone. Originally I thought maybe that was just an issue with, the fact that Infinite had a really quick and stressful development, and maybe it was just a little, issue that they forgot to fix. But now that we see that Jaga is in this book, it makes more sense. He didn't actually die. He probably just got defeated and said, forget it, I'm out. I'll hunt him down later. But besides Jaga, another thing in this cover in the background are those cryptic Halo rings that we see on the surface Infinite. There's only two of them. One of them is like a normal, like fully developed ring, and then in the very back is a fractured ring. What I've always loved about this fractured ring is it kind of feels reminiscent to the 7 Halo rings that we see in the game. You know, there's the first 6 that are all fine and dandy, and then there's the 7th ring, which is, you know, fractured. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, what do you mean that all the rings are fine? Obviously, Installation 04 is destroyed. Well, Installation 09 does exist somewhere in the universe. We just don't know where. So, technically, the entire rings are, as far as we know, intact. I don't know much about Gamma Halo after the Halo Escalation comic book. We still have not heard about that ring in quite some time. So, I'm assuming it's fully repaired after a piece was ejected, but again, getting off topic. Okay, so if you haven't already, I'm going to read you guys the synopsis, show you the full cover art right here so you can get a feel for it, but I'm pretty excited about this book, and we're going to get a little bit more into detail of what I think this means for not just this book, but for the future of the Halo game. So here is the synopsis. 2560. After eliminating War Chief Escharum and sending the banished leadership into chaos, the Master Chief continues the fight on Zeta Halo, accompanied by his new AI companion and their loyal pilot, Fernando Esparza. As Spartan 117 searches for scattered allied forces, a young combat medic tortured and imprisoned for months by the banished and the enigmatic Harbinger, can't talk today, may hold the key to unlocking deeper mysteries within this ancient ring world. But every step toward the answers is haunted by the sinister and elusive Blade Master, Jaga Urdani, who is hellbent on vengeance. So yeah, that is the entire synopsis, and I'm really excited for this book, mostly because I'm just ready to get past Infinite's story. This kind of happened with Halo 5, where a lot of stuff that was being like released wasn't taking place after Halo 5. It was like more along the lines of what was happening in concurrent with Halo 5, like right when Buck leaves the Fireteam Osiris, or what was happening on Onyx when Cortana was released, what happened on what's it called, the Ark with Halo Wars 2, just things that were happening kind of like within the Halo 5 storyline, but not really getting past that. I'm really excited to finally get past Halo Infinite. Now, one thing that I've really noticed a lot with ever since this book was revealed, or at least the synopsis. I saw a video a couple weeks ago about the being worried about the future installment of Halo. Now that this cover's revealed, a lot of people are complaining that this should have been a game and yada yada yada. One thing that I will note is I definitely want more Halo games. That is something I completely agree with, but I do think that Halo Studios has had a really rough go at every game since, I don't want to say 5. I feel like 5 was a well-built game. I think the issue was the marketing really let me down. And, you know, there's a video that I've watched, and I might link it down in the description below, that really talks about the development story of Halo 5. And once you kind of get the idea, like, that the overall story had been, like, what they were trying to develop alongside with the marketing was, the issue was the marketing was selling a completely different game. And we know that, but I originally thought the issue is they had scrapped a big chunk of the story in the middle of development and rushed to make something else. But based off this video and talking about like the development of Halo 5, that doesn't seem to be the case. It just seems like the marketing team really was just trying to, you know, jump in and make a really exciting game, but was selling the wrong video game. Well, here's what I will say about this. While, again, I too feel what everyone's worried about with Halo Edge of Dawn, you know, being essentially a sequel to Halo Infinite, Halo Studios has basically said that this doesn't serve as a major sequel. One thing that they really try to like compare it with is Halo First Strike, which is why I have a copy of it right here. Now, if you don't know what First Strike is it is essentially a bridge between Halo 1 and Halo 2. If you know more about the games, you'll know that Halo 1 ends with Master Chief being essentially in the longsword after destroying Installation 04, and then Halo 2 picks up with him back at Earth, new armor, like all this stuff. Johnson's back, and like none of this is explained, and it's all confusing. If you were to read Halo First Strike, all of that gets explained. It's essentially, it fills the holes between that story. And that's what I believe that they're going to do with Halo Infinite, or at least with the next Halo game, with this book. Another thing that they say, and I think they kind of heard everyone's fears a couple of weeks ago when they were revealing the synopsis, was that while this does deal with the immediate fallout of Halo Infinite's campaign, it embarks on its own new self-contained adventure. And the way I read that is like, it's definitely going to continue Infinite's story, but not to the degree of it like taking over what could have been a new game. Could it have been a DLC? Definitely, but I think Halo Studios is really trying to like find its footing right now, and if just trying to rush them on a new DLC or a new game just won't help with anything. I think this was the best thing we're going to get, especially considering how, you know, chaotic development for Infinite was. Now, I definitely know a lot of you are probably like, oh my god, he's defending Halo Studios. Yeah, I pretty much am, but I really don't care. I enjoyed Infinite enough to where I'm just excited for anything new Halo. I'm excited for this book. I really do think it's just going to serve as a bridge between Halo Infinite and the next Halo game. My big hope that with the next game is that it does continue the story of Infinite into its own new game, but not the way Infinite continued Halo 5. Obviously, we all know Infinite was just kind of a soft reboot. It essentially took elements of Halo 5's story and acknowledged them, but didn't really play off of them like I had hoped Halo 5 would, or Halo Infinite would have. So I really do hope that Infinite does, you know, or the next Halo game does pick up where Infinite left off, you know, with whatever type of time jump that they decide to do with this book. And I'm sure once we actually get in our hands and read the story, we'll kind of have a better, I guess, scope of what the next Halo game is going to entail. Last thing I want to talk about is one thing I really enjoyed with this brand new post that they did with this book, and I'll link it down in the description below, is they did a recommended revisiting. And I kind of try to do this with my videos when I'm talking about the different Halo books, basically saying, hey, you know, we just talked about Halo Halo Cryptum. Here's a book or game or whatever that you should read to either prepare yourself or have a little bit more context. I realized I did not do that with Primordium. Luckily enough, the only thing you really need to do with Primordium was read Halo Cryptum. That's about it. You could probably do the Halo 4 terminals, but they're not really like necessary for it. But overall, what they recommend for preparing for Edge of Dawn is playing through the Halo Infinite campaign, and definitely, and I recommend this more, reading the Halo Rubicon Protocol. That book is phenomenal. Once again, written by Kelly Gay, so it's her essentially picking up from where this story left off and Infinite's story left off. So please definitely give that book a try. Another little good thing is that they said that this book is so self-contained that you don't really need to, but you should. But you don't need to read any of the other Halo books or games. You could pretty much just jump into this one. I like when they do that because it makes it a little easier on newer people to the franchise to be able just to kind of jump in, not feel like they have to do a lot of homework. But if you do feel like doing a lot of homework, definitely, you know, watch some of my videos as I talk about more about the Halo books, and happy to answer any questions for you guys. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Probably a little longer than I had expected, but again, when it comes to Halo, I just love to ramble. Let me know what you think of this cover. Let me know what you think the story's going to be about, and let me know how you're feeling about the future of Halo. I know it's a little stressful, but Phil Spencer all but confirmed that we're getting yet another Halo Combat Evolved anniversary release next year. Of course, on Unreal Engine 5. So I look forward to seeing what that looks like. Maybe we'll get a little tease for it in October with the Halo World Championship. But until then, that's pretty much it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.